So here's the next topic. If you want Scratch to count for you, you can. You use this repeat command. So anything I do in here, any code I write in here will run 10 times. So let me do something simple like, and it'll run as fast as it can. I think it tries to run 60 times a second. So let's look at this. This is 15 degrees. Let's say I want to rotate him 360 degrees. I'm going to write 36 here. Convince yourself that if I spin him 36 degrees 10 times, that's 360 degrees. See that? He spun. Okay, it just did it really fast. I could put timers inside of here to slow it down a little bit. So I can maybe say 0.1. Try to slow him down.
Can you increase the speed?
The only way to increase the speed would be to change the angle. So if I do 72, then that would only be 5 repeats. Just boom. There is a limit though. Let's say I repeat this 100 times. There's a limit to how fast it can go. It can only run at 60 frames a second. So, or I think 30. It runs at 30 times a second. So I think probably the max you could do is like 300, maybe something like that. Let's see what this does. Nah, you can tell it doesn't really speed him up. Okay, so with that in mind, let's say I want to count something. I want this guy to count to 100. What I'm going to do is I'll make a variable, and I'll call it counter, and I will hit OK. And when I first start my program, it's always best to start your variables with a value. If you forget to do that, it could keep the last value you had the last time you ran it, and you could get some very unexpected results. I'm going to get this guy to count to 100 with this command change counter by 100. So watch my counter up here, up in the corner. When I run this, whoa, it counts really fast. See that? It's almost instant. So I'm going to get him to say something instead. I'm going to change counter by 1. And I'm going to get him to say counter without a timer on it. Let's see how fast he can do that. So I'm going to get him to say the word counter. Yeah, that's as fast as he can go. Do you see that? That's 30 times a second. So it should take him about 3 seconds to do that. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi. Yep. Okay. So he's counting now. Suppose I want to set how much he can count by. I could ask him the question. What do you want to count to? And whatever they type always gets stored in the answer bubble here. So I could just put that instead of 100, instead of counting to 100, you could count to whatever the person types, and then he'll just count from 0 all the way up. So watch this. If I type in 1,000, he should count to 1,000. I don't know how long that'll take him. Probably a long time. But you get the idea. That's how you get Scratch to count for you. It'll be important later on when we're going to do like scoring or games that we're going to be counting stuff in. For now, if you look at Lab 5, which I posted, they're just basic questions like say this sentence 5 times. Maybe even do a little bit of math, like a multiplication table, right? Because he's counting from 1 to 1,000, so I could easily write, instead of just the numbers from 1 to 1,000, I could get him to write count times whatever number I want him to do the times table of, right? So if I say output counter times 5, he will do 1 times 5, 2 times 5, 3 times 5, 4 times 5, and he'll just spit them out as quick as he can go. So let's say if I say 10, he'll go 5, 10. He'll count it by 5s. 5, 10. Really, really fast. Probably best to use a timer in there to stop it. Slow it down so you can actually have a look at what he's saying. There is a wait command here. 1 second. If I type in 7 here, he's going to type 1 times 5, 2 times 5, 3, all the way up to 7 times 5. So that's how he does a little times table for us. There you go. So check that out today. Try Lab 5. See how it goes. If you have any questions, let me know.